What do you mean, Peter?
You were married for 10 years?
Listen, we raised children.
What if everything you thought you knew about Tom Cruise's love life was a lie? Not Nicole, not Katie, not Penelope. The truth? He's been hiding her in plain sight, but the real story is still left untold. The mask behind the smile. Every time Tom Cruise flashes that megawatt smile, America eats it up. The aviators, the leather jacket, the perfect teeth. He's the American dream in motion. But under that Hollywood armor is a man built on hardship, not heroism. Born Thomas Cruise. Mapother IV in Syracuse, New York, Tom's early life was far from the silver screen. His father, an electrical engineer, was abusive and unstable. His mother, Mary Lee, struggled to keep the family afloat. Moving over a dozen times before he was 18, Tom attended 15 different schools, never staying long enough to make real friends or settle in. He was the kind of kid who had to reinvent himself every year. A former classmate once said, "Always the new guy, always adapting." And that instability left scars. At one point, Tom even considered the priesthood. Yes, that Tom Cruise. At 14, he entered a Franciscan seminary in Cincinnati. He lasted a year. Some say he was kicked out for stealing liquor. Others say it was another family move. Either way, the dream of becoming Father Cruise was dead. Something else was brewing. Stage lights and survival. High school changed everything. After getting cut from the football team for drinking before a game, he tried out for the school play Guys and Dolls, and the moment he stepped on stage, he felt something shift. "I felt alive," he once said. "I felt like I had a place." It was more than acting, it was survival. Tom, diagnosed with dyslexia, struggled to read. Scripts became his tutors. He would memorize lines by listening to them over and over on tape. He used movement and repetition to beat the learning disorder that had haunted him for years. After graduation, he moved to New York City with just $500 and a head full of dreams. He worked as a busboy and janitor while auditioning. He dropped his birth surname and became simply Tom Cruise, a name easier to remember, a name ready to shine. His first role? A blink-and-you-miss-it appearance in Endless Love in 1981. But it was Taps that same year where he stood out, a role originally minor that became central because of his raw intensity. And from there, Hollywood took notice. Breakout or burnout. In 1983, risky business exploded. A teenage Cruise, sliding across the floor in socks and tighty-whities to Bob Seger, became an icon overnight. The movie pulled in $63.5 million on a $6 million budget. But more than the box office, it branded him. He was charming, bold, unpredictable. But Tom wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing mastery. He turned down Footloose and its $2 million payday to take on Legend, a fantasy film that flopped miserably. Critics laughed. Studios worried. But Cruise? He doubled down. In 1986, he launched into the stratosphere with Top Gun. Maverick wasn't just a character. He was Tom's alter ego, confident, rebellious, sharp. The film grossed $176 million and created a pop culture hurricane. And the Navy saw a 500% spike in recruitment. Suddenly, Cruise wasn't just an actor. He was an institution. Beneath the stuntman. While fans marveled at his stunts, few knew the real struggle. Dyslexia still plagued him, but he found help, not through Hollywood, but Scientology. Introduced by his first wife, actress Mimi Rogers, the Church of Scientology claimed to offer a way to overcome his learning disorder. "They gave me tools," Cruise said. "Nobody else ever gave me tools." But Scientology wasn't just salvation. It became his fortress, and soon his obsession. In 1990, he confirmed his involvement publicly. By 2004, he was the face of it. Awards, medals, private jets, entire air hangars converted to personal training centers. The church shaped his life. And some say it also shaped his relationships. Nicole Kidman, the fairy tale. They met in 1990 on the set of Days of Thunder. She was 23. He was 28. 1 year later, they married in a snow-covered ceremony in Telluride, Colorado. They wanted children. After a tragic ectopic pregnancy, they adopted Isabella and Connor. For a while, they were the perfect family, traveling, filming, smiling for the cameras, but behind closed doors, cracks. Kidman later revealed she felt like a child bride. The relationship, she said, was unequal. In 2001, just after their 10th anniversary, Tom filed for divorce. Reports say Nicole was blindsided and possibly pregnant again. She miscarried soon after. The split was quick, 6 months, and Tom kept custody of the kids. Nicole retreated to Australia. Tom dove deeper into Scientology. Scientology's golden boy. By the early 2000s, Cruise wasn't just a member of the church, he was their crown jewel. According to insiders, the church pulled strings to control his image, even orchestrating romantic relationships. Women were reportedly vetted through secretive audits, unaware they were being considered as Cruise's next partner. The darkest case? Nazanin Boniadi, a young, bright Scientologist groomed to be Tom's girlfriend. She was told to change her appearance, drop her life, and devote herself to him. When she fell short of expectations, she was dismissed. No explanation, just exile. It was love by selection, romance by committee. The public unravels. Then came Katie Holmes, the princess, the fairy tale. The Dawson's Creek darling who once said she dreamed of marrying Tom Cruise. In 2005, they emerged as a couple. 33 days after her previous engagement ended, the media went wild. Then the Oprah couch incident happened. Cruise, promoting War of the Worlds, jumped on Oprah's couch, declaring his love for Holmes in a frenzy. It was viral before viral was a thing. Studios panicked. Paramount pulled back. His star dimmed. But the wedding went on. Italy. Fireworks. Spectacle. And then Suri was born. For 6 years, the public saw a glossy version of Cruise. But behind the scenes, Holmes was planning. In 2012, she filed for divorce, in secret. Within days, it was finalized. Full custody of Suri went to Holmes. Tom hasn't been photographed with his daughter since 2013. The unseen heartbreak. He still sees Connor and Isabella. They stayed with him. They stayed in Scientology. But Suri and Katie were gone. And the church's disconnection policy may be why. Those labeled as suppressive persons are cut off. And Katie left the church, which may mean Tom, devoted to his faith, had to walk away from his daughter. Is it loyalty or loss? In 2024, Suri turned 18. She dropped the name Cruise and became Suri Noel, taking Holmes's middle name. She's heading to Carnegie Mellon University. She's moving on, but is Tom. After the fallout, Cruise didn't disappear. He transformed. In Tropic Thunder, he played Les Grossman, a loud, crude studio executive, covered in prosthetics, cursing like a sailor. Nobody knew it was him, until they did. And they laughed. He was back. Then came Mission. Impossible. Ghost Protocol. He scaled the Burj Khalifa. No stunt double, just a wire and the wind. Insurance companies balked. The studio had to insure the entire shoot for $50 million. By 2022, Top Gun, Maverick grossed $1.5 billion. It wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural reset. And Cruise pocketed $100 million. But behind the scenes? Still silence. No Suri. No new confirmed love. The confession. And now, at 62, Cruise finally spoke. The woman he loved the most? The one he never married, never named. She stood by me when no one else did, he said, but I wasn't ready for the world to know. Who is she? Some say a former co-star. Others whisper it was someone entirely outside Hollywood. A private citizen, a secret ally, someone who didn't want fame, but gave him peace. They never married, never had a public moment, but she saw the man, not the movie star. She was the love of my life, he admitted, but I let her go. So now we ask you, was it the fame? The faith? The fear of vulnerability that kept Tom Cruise from holding on to the one person who saw him for who he truly was? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're fascinated by the hidden layers behind Hollywood's biggest names, give this video a like, subscribe to Legend Discovery, and ring that notification bell, because we're just getting started. The spotlight may be blinding, but behind it, that's where the real stories live.